Panel number 6, how to design the future for PES and NEETs. And I would like to introduce the moderator for this session. Mr. Haji Aliyev serves as the head of the Department of International Affairs and Strategic Development at the Azerbaijan Public Employment Agency. Haji, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Nicole. Good evening, everyone. Already good evening? Okay. I know that I know that you are a bit tired. Actually, I'm also a little bit sleepy, but this panel is really very important. The main purpose of this panel is to cover up whatever we already discussed during the first panels, the previous panels, and we will see mainly the future strategies, how to, let's say, cover up whatever we discussed during our 2 days conferences and the future outlook for preventing the use to be needs. So the panelists you already know from the previous panels. Emre Yıldız from İŞKUR. We have Christina from Croatian Employment Agency. We have Shiva from Slovenia. We have Iva here with us from Latvia, and we have Mr. Diata from Senegal. So we will start the discussions with some overview from our panelists, and I would like to give the floor to Emre to mainly talk about the future strategies for preventing use, for becoming needs, and the tools and strategies that in your region specifically and in İŞKUR, how you are going to manage all this process. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aliyev. I would like to thank also to participants. We reached to the end of our conference. Thank you for coming and for your contribution. As this is the last panel, I would like to conclude all the things we have talked until today. The topic of this panel is actually the future strategies of public employment services, including prevention, early intervention, and also emerging technologies. So I will make a small conclusion, including all of these topics. As you know, the public employment services, we are always focusing on treatment measures, not the prevention. But all we know that prevention is much more cost-effective than treatment measures. As public employment services, we should focus more on prevention measures than treatment measures, and also we have to allocate more resources for prevention. While we are talking about prevention, we should aware that why we are preventing young people to become NEET. You know, because the NEET issue is a very, very big problem. It causes individual, social, and economic problems, and also beyond these problems, being mid or long-term NEET causes a scarring effect that occurs in lower wages and less employment opportunities in the next period of life. So actually, as public employment services and representative of public employment services, we are talking in more methodological and technical way, but it's a real problem for young people. That could be you, it could be me, or your children could be NEET actually. Beyond the numbers, there are real human stories that we have to focus on. And there are real human stories and reasons to becoming NEET. Once identifying the target group, we will reveal the reasons and the human stories that cause being a NEET. Designing either prevention or early intervention or anything treatment measures, we should start with field researches. That can be one of the feature strategies of public employment services. And also not only focusing on young people, we should also focus on families, because the conscious families are very, very effective on career paths of young people. On the other hand, the job creation is also important, because if there are no decent work opportunities for young people, so we cannot place them, we cannot offer them good quality jobs. So considering this, the first step to job programs with employer incentives may be an alternative solution. And I can also say that we are focusing the need problem in a labor market problem, labor market perspective, but we should focus on this problem in a more broader perspective, like generations perspective, so that maybe as public employment services we should be redesigned, reorganized to serve in a more broader perspective. We should rethink our role and position. And considering the early intervention, the key factor here is monitoring and tracking of needs. If you track and monitor the needs, you can early intervene according to their needs. You can offer them active labor market policies, second chance education programs, or job vacancies considering their needs. And also the last issue I want to mention is emerging technologies. Of course, emerging technologies changing the nature of work, but also how we serve as public employment services. Now, in of course technical level, we are discussing chatbots as counseling services. For example, chatbots may serve as the first stage counseling services. If people need deeper and more intensive counseling services, they can served by real human counselors like our working in our front offices. And also we are discussing more effective and sustainable matching systems, artificial intelligence and machine learning based. This is going to be the feature of public employment services, I guess. And also the social entrepreneurship, one of the alternative, especially WISEs, I mean work integration, social employment, social entrepreneurs. This can also be the feature of public work programs, because we believe that needs may help needs. So by this peer review approach, we can increase the job opportunities for young people. And also the thing we should always consider is green jobs. Green jobs, an emerging area that the public employment services have to invest in. As the last, I would like to say that the employment issue is so broader thing that cannot be delegated to only one institution. Only the collective efforts will enable, will ensure to employment and for a brighter future. Thank you.
Thank you, Emre. Thank you so much for very nicely covering up all the issues that we already discussed. Actually, you covered the questions that I'm going to ask, so that's why I would like to go to Christina. Christina, could you please tell us about the future strategies in Croatia for preventing the needs, as well as you know, the sustainability is also very important as for the preventing, and how you are thinking, or what kind of the strategies are you taking in Croatia? Thank you.
Before moving on, Christina, sorry, I didn't want to destroy all the structure of the panel, but I just want to cover all the topics to give you more time, actually. Thank you.
Very good of you. So now we don't have to speak. Before I answer your question, I would just like to reflect on this forum that have been held here for the past 2 days. What I will take home is that worldwide, all public employment services and other stakeholders are aware of the problem of needs, and they're facing the challenges here regarding the needs and dealing with the issue. I know, and in the most countries, public employment services are the one who is the main actor or the driver for dealing the issues with the needs. So I think the public employment services they have the heavy weight on their backs to deal with the issue and to go into the future. Regarding the future and regarding what are the strategies in Croatia in dealing with preventing youth to become NEETs, I think the partnership and cooperation between the educational institutions and public employment service is crucial. Firstly and foremost, because we need trained youth to be able to find their own jobs on the labor market without us. But as I know, at least in Croatia, is like that. The educational system is rather slow, and it doesn't change as fast as the labor market needs. So our role here as a public employment service is to give the youth the tools for the future life. And in cooperation and collaboration with the schools, and not only schools, but all other actors on the labor market, such as NGOs, municipalities, local governments, and so on, we have to work on how to give those young people transferable skills, skills for the future, and I would say in some points life skills, so they can be placed somewhere in the real life. I know, and I think that is happening in Croatia, and I know that is also happening in other countries. The language between us, policymakers, and the youth is completely different. So I think we have to work on our approach to youth, because they are in, at least from my knowledge, they are in the virtual world where we are not. We like to use pen and paper, and they're somewhere else. So we have to have different approaches for different subgroups of youth to be able to provide them, to give them, to reach them, and to give them appropriate tools for the future. I'm not going to repeat everything my colleagues said about what happens if that we don't provide them with the tools. What if when they become unemployed? I think all public employment services do have more or less same agenda. What I think it is very important is to develop different holistic approaches, especially in the profiling. And as you mentioned in your question about the COVID, as I talked yesterday, years ago, we developed something that is called statistically assisted profiling, which helped us map the focal points for each individual where we should focus our intentions. So in all, in general, we could see they need more trainings and more retrainings or reskilling. I have to say one thing about Croatia. We don't like to learn after we finish regular education. So it is a really great effort for us to make people, after they finish their regular education, either it is secondary education or tertiary education, to go into trainings, to learn for the future, to learn new skills, new knowledges. And in the last 10 years, I think we are struggling with that. Now, last year, we started with voucher system to provide people, not only unemployed, but also employed, for reskilling, and it turned out to be a very good practice, because quite a lot of people in this last year and a half, over 15,000 people were involved in that kind of training, which is huge number. When we look at the numbers in previous year, that around 3,000 to 4,000 people per annum were involved in secondary or upscaling programs. I don't know what else to mention. Not to take the word from other speakers, and this is one thing that I will finish with. So I think early intervention in cooperation with schools while their children in regular education, it is crucial. But also the way of communication, the means of communication are crucial for the future generation, as well as giving them the right tools for the future, for their lives, for the labor market. That would be it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christina. We talked about prevention, sustainability, but as we know that, especially for talking about needs, the mental health and job readiness is something really very important factors. Ziva, I would like to give floors to you, and could you please talk about these mentioned factors, like the mental health, job readiness, and for the future perspective, what kind of challenges or opportunities do you see in this field? Thank you.
Thank you. As we stand at a crossroad of emerging global markets, I think that it is crucial that we address this problematic head-on to ensure a prosperous future for our youth. So before we dive into the solutions and the future strategies, let us just grasp the magnitude of the problem, because the need status is not just about being unemployed or being not in the education or training. It's about young people who are at risk of being left behind, of being socially excluded, of being disempowered. And this does not only have personal effects, but the effects can be losses for all of us. They can be societal, like lacking creativity, lacking innovations, lacking economic productivity, and so on. So I think that what we have established in these two very interesting, very intense days is that the public employment services, we have a pivotal role in job readiness, in future skills, in ensuring a better future for everyone and ensuring that no one is left behind. And I think that a holistic, comprehensive strategy and approach has to be in the middle of all of this. So at the Public Employment Service of Slovenia, as I have already mentioned in panel number 3, the first thing that we really think is really important are skills. Upskilling, reskilling. So this is why we are developing hugely here new platforms, new approaches. A lot has been said, and I don't want to repeat myself or the others, but maybe I would like to point out the issue of micro-credentials. As many of you, I'm sure, are very, very well aware, the Council of the European Union has adopted a recommendation on the European approach on microcredentials in 2022. And microcredentials, what does it mean? It actually certifies short-term learning outcomes, such as courses, trainings, and this is a really important opportunity, especially for vulnerable groups such as NEETs, who may lack, some of them may lack like formal education, because this can really help them get certain certificates and help them to come into the labor market rapidly. Now, this recommendation is like giving us some bricks that we can work with, some definitions, some approaches, and now it's up to us to develop common standards. We need to develop common standards so that we can ensure like the quality of the microcredentials, the cross-border recognitions, etc. And Public Employment Service of Slovenia is really pioneering in Slovenia in this approach, because now we are really trying to do a step forward here, and we are gaining together the educational system, the universities, so that we can start developing this tool for ensuring a better future for our youth. Then maybe the second point I would like to mention is diagnosis, multifaceted diagnosis. If we do not understand the backgrounds, what the issue is really about, then we cannot make a very good strategy. This is why we are trying to develop advanced diagnosis tools that will really help us understand the backgrounds of this problematic, also individual backgrounds. The third point I would like to mention is personal approach. I think we have realized that definitely one size does not fit all. So we are a small country, so maybe we can afford programs like I have talked about, PUMO, that we can really develop personal strategies, personal approaches that gain really good results. The fourth thing that is very important, and my predecessors have already mentioned it, is like public employment services, we are a bridge to the educational systems. Like we have to be the bridge between business and education, so that we can help to contribute to gain curricula that are actually going to address the future skills, future competencies, and future jobs. Then the fifth thing is that, of course, like on-the-spot approach is really, really important, but we are very devoted also to influence policies. We as Public Employment Services, and also we as Public Employment Service of Slovenia, are working very closely with the legislators so that we can provide very good legislative frameworks for this problematic. Then one thing that is really important, and I have already mentioned it, I'm not going to repeat myself, is working with the local communities. The seventh thing I would like to mention is monitoring and evaluation. And then last but not least, also promoting resilience and sustainability, because it's not just about someone getting a job or going into the education, but also promoting sustainability here for a better future. So I think this is all from our side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Siva. You really touched very important points to cover up the session. And I totally agree with you that defining the needs and understanding who are the needs and like analyzing the data maybe is 50% of the whole process. So implementing the different tools to, let's say, help them is another 50%, but the really, really important point is to understand who are they and where are they. So thank you so much. While we are talking about the sustainability and prevention, the cooperation between the labor market and educational institutions is really very important, as the education is, let's say, the starting point of coming to the labor market. So I'd like to give the floor to Eva to speak about these points, how you see on this. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, for establishing and strengthening relationship with partners is very important, and to do that it requires multi-phased approach to involve various stakeholders, like public institutions, education institutions, and others. And to do that, there is several important steps to follow. And the first one is to identify your stakeholders, which one is the right stakeholders and in which field they can help you. And that's from public institutions, education institutions, NGOs, and other organizations. So at the beginning you establish identify your stakeholders, and the next step is to establish partnerships with education institutions and also employers. So to know which education institutions can help with the solving problem of needs and also problem of unemployed people, and work with them together to customize programs and resources and to make programs affordable, accessible and flexible for common use of various needs. And also to partnerships with employers, to know your employers, to know your labor market and be, as it was already mentioned, the bridge between your employer and unemployed and those who are looking for the job. Also, outreaching your partners and awareness campaigns are very important also for employers, to let them understand that also the needs and other target groups is also the pool of talent where you can find your potential employees. And also the important point is continuous training and capacity building of PES staff, of PES resources and PES staff, PES possibilities to work with all different target groups. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much, Eva. Thank you. As we are talking about needs, we know that this is different based on the different regions, each different countries even, and each has its own challenges or opportunities or other kind of let's say the main points that needed to be more focused on. Now I would like to give floor to Mr. Dieta to mainly focus on the outlook in the Senegal case and how the international cooperations, let's say the cooperations between the different countries or the regions, how this will be implementing in your case as for the future strategies working with needs. Thank you, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I would also like to share a different approach on the analysis of needs, because we are talking about an African aspect here. The first problem that we have is the structure, because the African aspect, and especially in Senegal, we don't have these political tools, political means. All the means that we have to face these situations, in fact, are the PES. Donc, from this point of view, it is really important important for us to implement them all on site and all over the country. And secondly, this aspect is also linked to the infrastructures that we do not have and that are not usable. I would like to talk about the industrial structure, industrial tissue of the young people. It cannot absorb the conditions that we have in the country. When it comes to recruiting, we can say that the state is avoiding to recruit them. So it also creates another problem for these people. I think that there are also some difficulties when it comes to the communication, especially to understand their needs. And the state is not doing enough to get them. And another challenge again is the talents and skills. And this difficulty is directly linked to the education problem that we have in our country. So these are the challenges that we are trying to form something around, and we need to share, first of all, the African aspect. And we can then maybe see what would be the links that we can create with other European countries, because the problems, the difficulties, the aspects are not the same. They are not even similar. This is why we need convergence zone. We need more technology in our country. Today, we can maybe close certain gaps, but it's only valid for trainings. So if we want to create this link, if you want to have these talents, we need a massification. We need surpassing the limits that we are facing. And exchange is really important to do that. This is what can help us. We have the problems in terms of education. We have the problem of internship. SDGs, of course, we need to implement. And these SDGs, especially number 5, needs to be, in fact, implemented, because we have more women than men in Africa. Even a bigger half of the country is constituted of women, and we have an industry sector. So we need more labor force. And we need to development, which will help us to have an economic development, of course, thanks to SDG number 8. And this is how we can work on a partnership in collaboration between the North and South. And this is how we can compensate certain gaps. We can overcome certain difficulties. We are talking about conceptual factors, and we are talking about some countries that are richer than us, but for us, the resources are limited, and we talked about lots of opportunities. I am all aware of that, but I wanted to underline this aspect that we have in Africa, what we are going through as Africa, and I just wanted to share it with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dieta, for your addings and thoughts. So, considering our time schedules, I would like to finish our panel number 6. Thank you so much. Thank you all the panelists for your thoughts, for your addings, and for your contribution to our panel. And as this is a final panel, and this panel, the main target of the panel is to wrap up whatever we discussed till now, and to look for the future strategies. I believe that all the previous panels, all the thoughts from our great speakers and all the parts of the conference was really very important. First of all, to understand how this topic is important for all the countries, and what kind of the strategies our countries needed to be shared. And actually, I believe that the conference was targeted to start, how to say, the cooperation on the topic between all the public employment services in all the countries, in all the regions. Thank you so much. Now I would like to give floor to our lovely Eva. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Haji. Thank you so much also to the panelists that endured until this last panel today. Thank you. Really, really, really great. And I will make some announcements, but not right now. Before we will have some closing remarks, and I would like to welcome Uguzan Küpeli, Head of Foreign Relations and Projects Department from İŞKUR, to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, I prefer dancing instead of making closing speech, but I should make. Distinguished representatives of the WAPES member countries, representatives of international organizations and public institutions, we are delighted and proud to host you in Antalya, one of the most beautiful cities in our country, throughout this event. I hope that you are living this event, organized in collaboration with WAPES, Azerbaijan Public Employment Agency, and ILO Türkiye office, with beautiful memories and new insights. Over the past 2 days, we have discussed various topics shaping our future, ranging from education to employment. We have talked about the obstacles, opportunities, and responsibilities facing our youth. As frequently highlighted during the event, our world is undergoing significant and profound changes that deeply affect labor markets in every aspect. These transformations occurring in every field have a profound impact on labor markets in every aspect. While countries struggling with unemployment and new skills demands on a macroeconomic basis, our youth stand out as the most vulnerable group facing the risk of unemployment. Persistent issues such as skill mismatch, lack of experience, transition challenges from education to employment, and deficiencies in vocational training contribute to the increasing risk of unemployment. So throughout the past 2 days, we had the opportunity to listen to perspectives from different institutions and organizations regarding these issues and share our knowledge, experiences, and practices. With these new perspectives gained, I believe that we will take new and robust steps at the local and global levels. All institutions, especially public employment agencies joining us here today, will face new challenges in the future. We are aware of the difficulties and concepts such as technology, migration, and demographic transformation will bring to the working life. However, I hope that together we will overcome these challenges and lie ahead. Dear guests, without prolonging my words too much, I would like to express my gratitude to each one of you for being here. I extend my thanks to the WAPES team, whose support in every field is the fundamental reason for our presence here today, especially Nicole, Jacqueline, Pierre, Eva Marie, and the new secretary. And also my dear colleagues from the State Employment Agency of our brother country, Azerbaijan, for hosting with us, especially Haji and other team members. And the ILO Türkiye office for their valuable collaboration and contributions, especially Ms. Billur. Dear all, in conclusion, I am honored and pleased to be gathered here with you all to build a brighter, fairer, and more sustainable future together. Thank you. For the next events, let us dance together again.
Thank you, Uguzan. Yes, dancing definitely together again. My pleasure. So for the next welcoming speech, I would like to welcome Haji Aliyev, Head of International Affairs and Development Department of APEA.
Thank you, Nicole. Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you, Nicole. Also, of course, I also like dancing, and I already showed my performance, I believe, during these 2 days, even in karaoke. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I believe that these 2 days was really very important. And as I mentioned during our last panel, as well. I believe that this conference highlighted again how important is the topic and how important is the collaboration between the different countries in order to have best practices and best approaches, the holistic approaches for the future strategies. And I believe that these 2 days was the starting of having ID sharing or the cooperation sharing in this topic, and in the future our all attendees, all the countries will continue to work on this topic as well, and making the new strategy for the needs. I would like to thank all participants, all the countries, all the speakers, all the panelists, all the moderators, everyone, for making this 2 days conference is really very beneficial and successful. And I would like to thank our brothers İŞKUR team for their great job in making this conference. I would like to thank the WAPES team for doing really very hard job in organizing this conference, either from the content side, the technical side, and I would like to thank the ILA team for their participation as well. And I would like to thank all the countries. I know that our schedules was a bit tight, a bit, I would say, really very proactive, and even after the conference days, conference times, you were liking to enjoy the beautiful city Antalya, and I know it from myself. I'm sleeping only 3-4 hours every day since I came to Antalya, so I know that this is the case for everyone, and I believe that everyone made a great job, and I thank everyone again, and I wish very successful conferences in the WAPES platform for the future. And at the end of my speech, may I have a special clap for Nicole, please, for her everything. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I would like now to give the word over to Yves-Marie Mosseray, the former Executive Secretary of WAPES.
Dans les talents de préparation,
they assigned me the mission to close and summarize these 2 days of conference. I don't think that I will do that because our colleagues from İŞKUR and Azerbaijan already summarized very well the conference. And after this conference, I'm sure that all documents will be shared with you and all additional information will reach you as well. I think that this conference is answering your expectations and you are going back to your country with a high number of good ideas, and all these exchanges, I hope, will provide more sources for you in your daily work. I will take this opportunity to present my recognition being Executive Secretary of WAPES was an incredible experience. I participated to several missions of WAPES with a very involved team. I worked with you, but also for you. I hope that WAPES will continue its way with a lot of success, and we will get together with all these magnificent associations. Thank you, and I will try it in Turkish. Thank you.
Thank you, Yves-Marie. So I guess I have the last word on this, as I had the first word, and it's really my thing. Thank you. And I would like also to say some words. I mean, I think the last 2 days have been really tough, and I know we had a tight schedule, but still it was very, very insightful. We had lots of great presentations. And I think in between, we had a really great time of networking, even though I stressed a little bit on timing in between, I know, but we had also lots of applications to this conference, which I was really, really amazed about. Such a great honor for us. And I think this is what the association is living from. It's really about connecting the members, about making this great again after COVID. I know there was a little bit less active things going on, but that's just how it is. And then I think this is a great way to make this association great again. And want to thank each and every one of you. And yes, we have talked a lot about the crucial topic of needs. And like I said, I extend my sincere gratitude to all contributors, speakers who meticulously prepared their presentations, and also our dedicated moderators. A special thanks also goes to my colleagues of the Turkish Employment Agency and the Azerbaijan Public Employment Agency for the collaborative efforts in organizing this event, because I know it's been a lot with techniques and everything going well. Even though you didn't discover, there's always something going on that triggers a little bit, but I think nobody complained, so you didn't even notice, and that's the main thing. Especially, I want to express my deep appreciation also to the team at Turkish Foreign Relations and Projects Department, to Oguzhan, Isa, Begüm, Nuriye, and also Caner, as well as to my colleagues from the International Partnership and Strategic Development Department at the Azerbaijan Public Employment Agency, to Haji, Aygün, and Hava. Even though she's not here, I still think of her because she did a lot of pre-preparation. Last, but certainly not least, my heartfelt thanks goes to all of you, to all the members and friends whose participation made this discussion a truly wonderful event. Your questions were enlightening, and the discussions we had were really great. Thank you for contributing to the success of WAPES, making it a great association for International Public Employment Service Corporation. Thank you.